Welcome to the Art of Conscious Living TV. We're here today at the Heirloom Festival in Santa Rosa, California, 2015, and we're here with the Jeffery Smith. And his technology is called?
My Institute for Responsible Technology is my institute.
So, welcome again back to the show. But last time I spoke to you, that time they were trying to pass the GMO labeling, and it failed. So where are you at with all of this right now?
Well, right now we have so much evidence that GMOs are unsafe. Not only the GMOs themselves, but the Roundup herbicide that is sprayed on most of them, because most genetically modified organisms are engineered not to die when sprayed with Roundup herbicide. Right now I'm creating a new movie. My last movie, Genetic Roulette, came out during 2012 during the Prop 37 campaign. Now we have a new movie out called Secret Ingredients. It's not out, it's under production. It's about families that heal from chronic conditions after switching to non-GMO and organic foods. Now, this turns out to be an extremely common experience. I've interviewed thousands of people in over 125 lectures from the stage. We have surveyed thousands of people, and we also interviewed doctors who prescribe non-GMO diets by the thousands. And so we see that when people switch to non-GMO and organic food, there's a variety of diseases and disorders that often improve. Gastrointestinal problems, increased energy, reduced brain fog, weight loss, skin conditions, allergy, asthma, and other immune system problems. Even autism and autistic symptoms have been shown to improve over and over again.
So how long was this being documented in humans? Because it was in the animal lab results. They were getting cancer in the lab animals. They were showing that the correlation between GMO and all of the tumors, large tumors were happening in the lab animals. So is this happening in humans now?
If you look at the epidemiological evidence, the traits or the trends of GMOs increasing, the use of Roundup increasing, and you plot it against certain diseases like cancer, you find that many of the cancers rise in parallel with the GMOs and Roundup. And these are the liver cancers, the kidney cancers, the pelvic cancers, bile duct cancers, thyroid cancers, and leukemia. And then if you also look at other diseases, they also rise in parallel. Autism, diabetes, irritable bowel, anemia, schizophrenia, ADHD. And there's reasons why. If you look particularly at the Roundup characteristics, where we have more evidence, more research done, you can see that it's an endocrine disruptor, that it blocks certain pathways that occur in the body that are absolutely essential, that it's an antibiotic and causes a dangerous imbalance in the gut bacteria, a whole host of things that could explain why these particular diseases are on the rise in the U.S. population, why these particular diseases are actually in high prevalence in the animal laboratory experiments, and why when humans, livestock, and pets eliminate GMOs from their diets, that they get better in these same diseases.
And how long does it take once you stop GMO to clear it from the body?
It's a very good question, and I've asked many people what their experience is. There's no clinical trials, so we can't rely on the science, so we have to rely on the experience of both doctors and the patients and individuals. One doctor who had prescribed non-GMO diets to about 5,000 patients by the time I asked her said that mental conditions can be clearing up right away. Allergies and asthma, 3 to 7 days. Gastrointestinal problems, anywhere from 2 months up to 2 years. My experience is, in asking people, it really varies. I had one woman speak to me from the audience at an MIT conference, an MIT lecture, and she said her 6.5-year-old was violent and out of control. They wanted to kick him out of school, and she saw the film Genetic Roulette, which I created, changed his diet, and she said all the problems disappeared. I said, and he's now doing very well in school. I said, how long did it take? She said, 1 week. And then she paused and said, within a month I had a new son. Now, it kind of depends on someone's sensitivity. I talked to one pediatrician, and she said for the very severe kids, she has to do a lot of things. She changes their diet, but just throws all these other supplements and whatnot, and so can't isolate what the change is. For children who have very mild symptoms, what she'll do is just switch them to an organic diet, and they'll get better, and she'll know that that's the problem, was the food. Sometimes, let's say there's a kid who's in a family who's autistic, and she'll have the family change to an organic diet, and maybe she does a lot of things with the autistic kid, but the rest of the family, the only change is they switch to an organic diet. And then the mom says, oh, my IBS is cleared up. Another one says, my eczema is cleared up. So the entire family starts to get better, even though she's treating one member of the family, because everyone changed their diet, they're all getting better.
Well, it's a fact that our immune system is 80% in our intestinal tract, and this is where the GMO sets up a factory there in the intestinal tract. So if it's setting up that while you're eating it, then how severe is the damage there?
So what you're referring to is the possibility that a gene from the food might transfer into the intestinal flora, into our bacteria, into the DNA and continue to function. So you have genes that are inserted into crops, for example, that produce a toxic insecticide called Bt toxin. That toxin can poke holes in human cells. It's also allergenic. And so if it transfers to human gut bacteria, it might turn it into living pesticide factories. This has not been proven, but it is very likely to happen because the only human feeding study they've ever conducted on currently commercialized GMOs did verify that part of the gene from soybeans transferred to gut bacteria in humans and probably continued to function after the transfer. So whether it actually transfers to gut bacteria or simply affects by virtue of it being in our food supply, the number one reported improvement in the thousands of people that we surveyed and the thousands of people that I've interviewed from the stage, the number one improvement is gastrointestinal. The number two is increased energy and reduced brain fog. And then there's a smattering of things like weight problems, mood, skin conditions, allergies, autoimmune disease, etc. And these are predictable. It's so predictable, I even say, okay, watch this. Watch how many people raise their hands. I say this to